Hi guys, and welcome back to lesson 8 in our fractions topic. As you can see today, you are going to be learning how to divide by a fraction. So you will be successful today if you can remember your rules for dividing fractions and if you remember to check to simplify your answer at the end. So our steps for dividing by a fraction, well, our first thing we need to do is change the divide sign to a times sign. The next thing we do then is flip our second fraction upside down. We then multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So it's only an extra couple of steps to what we did last time. I think it'll be a wee bit easier to see with an example. So step number 1 then was to change our divide to a times. So we keep our first fraction the same, 3/4. Divide becomes times, and then I flip my fraction upside down. So 7 goes on the top and 6 goes on the bottom. I've then got 3 times by 7, so that is 21. And then 4 times by 6 is 24. Now hopefully we've remembered that last step there was to simplify at the end. So 21 and 24 are both in my 3 times table. And so that should give me 7/8 for my answer there. Example number 2, we're going to do the same thing again. So let's keep 5/9 as it is. Change that divide to a times, and then flip my second fraction upside down. So it's now 4/3. 5 times by 4 is going to give me 20, and 9 times by 3 is 27. 20 and 27 aren't in the same times table, so that is my final answer there. No simplifying required this time. Example number 3, I've got 2/3 divided by 5/6, so keep my first fraction the same. Change divide to a times, flip my second fraction over. 2 times by 6 gives me 12. 3 times by 5 gives me 15. Want us to think what times table are 12 and 15 both in? You should be thinking our 3 times table here. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I've got 4/5 for my answer. Okay, I would like you guys to pause the video here and try these 2 questions, and then once you've given it a go, come back for your answer. Okay, I hope we got on okay there. So for this question, I would have a 1/6 times by 3/2. That's then going to be 3/12, and they're both in my 3 times table, like so. I've run out of space at the bottom there, so I'm going to move on to the side. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4, so 1/4 for my answer. For the second one, I would have 7/10, and then we are going to times by 4/3. That's then going to be 28/30. They are both even, so they're both in my 2 times table, and that should give me 14/15 as my answer there. Hopefully we got those 2 correct there, guys. Our steps for dividing by a mixed number fraction are just an extra step on what we've already been doing. So step number 1, we change to top heavy first. So before you do anything else, make all of your fractions top heavy. Then, same as last time, change divide to a times, flip the second fraction, multiply our top numbers together, and multiply our bottom numbers together. So, for example, remember to make top heavy, I do my whole number times by the denominator. So 2 times by 3 is 6, but we've got to add that 1, so that's going to be 7/3. My other fraction is not top heavy, and I'm just going to write it out exactly as it is. I don't want to do too many steps in one and forget. So now keep my first fraction as it is, change divide to a times, flip my second fraction over, and then 7 times by 5 is 35, and 3 3s are 9. Now 35 and 9 are not in the same times table, but what I can do is I can now change it back to a mixed number. So 9 goes into 35 3 times, and there is 8 left over. So 35 ninths is the same as 3 and 8 ninths. Always read your question and check what it asks for. I would always try and change it back to mixed number, but if it doesn't ask, you'll usually still get the marks for your top heavy. This time our first fraction is a normal fraction, so I'm not going to change it. I'm going to keep my divide symbol the same just now, and I'm doing 2 times by 4 is 8, plus that extra one is a 9, so I've got 9 quarters, and now I'm going to do my keep first fraction the same, change divide to a times, and this time we have got 4 ninths when I flip that fraction upside down. 7 times by 4 is 28. 10 times by 9 is 90. They are both even numbers, so I can divide by 2. 28 divided by 2 should give me 14, and 90 divided by 2 is 45. So I've got 14 over 45. It's a normal fraction, it's not top heavy, so I just leave my answer as it is. Okay, now I want you guys to try. So be careful, in your second example here, you've got 2 mixed number fractions, so you're going to have to change both of them. Pause the video, give it a go, and come back to get your answers. Alright, I hope we find that quite straightforward. So 4 times by 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I'm going to have 9 over 2, and we are still dividing by 3/5. I'm going to keep my first fraction the same, so 9 halves. Change that divide to a times, flip my second fraction, becomes 5 thirds. 9 5s are 45, and 2 thirds are 6. 2 times 3, sorry, is 6. 45 and 6 are both in my 3 times table. So that is going to give me, what's that, 15 over 2. And then 2 can go into 15 7 full times with 1 left over. So we get 7.5 as my answer there. For our next one then, 1 times by 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So I've got 3 halves. Keep it as a divide. 3 times by 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So that's 13 over 4. And then keep my first fraction the same. Change divide to times. Flip my second fraction. 3 times by 4 is 12. 2 times by 13 is 26. That's in my 2 times table. So that should give me 6 over 13. It's not top heavy, so I can leave my answer as it is there. Well done if you got those 2 answers. Well done for sticking with today's lesson, guys. You have got your mild questions on the screen here, so again, no calculator. For question 1, you are copying and completing each of those boxes. When it gets to the sort of final lines here, when you're simplifying, you might simplify it a different way, so don't worry too much about those steps, so long as you are getting down to your mixed number at the end. For question 2, you are just dividing like we have done with normal fractions that are not mixed number. Moving on to medium then, we get our mixed number fractions, and then our hot section is our wordier questions. But remember, this whole topic is dividing, so for 5 and 6 you should be doing division sums. You just need to decide which way round are your numbers going. Remember, when we divide, it does matter which one goes first and which one goes second. I want you all to try your best with these questions and let me know how you get on in our Teams chat. See you in the next lesson.